So let me know if the screen is visible to all of you. So, Namaskaram, and once again, a very warm welcome to each and every one of you joining us for the 100 days in 100 minutes exam clearing masterclass. And this is going to be extremely valuable. And I respect your time and your trust that this workshop or this masterclass is going to help you clear the exams in November 23. So, this is the format. We'll discuss 3 core aspects of the entire preparation plan, which includes planning, implementation, and improvement. Planning, implementation, and improvement. And the objective of this is you should be able to get a mark sheet like this. If you're writing group 1, your final mark sheet in November 23 should look something like this. These are all our Super 36 students who also joined a workshop like this, who also started where you are, who were also equally confused, who are also not sure whether they have to write one group or both groups or first group or second group. They all went through the same pattern. They all went through the same path, and eventually they all have these tags before their names. I believe you are also here for the same reason. So these are the kind of mark sheets which you can think about, because this is the ultimate reality, nothing else. This is the only reality. This is the ultimate reality. So only when a number like this is printed on your mark sheet, you are eligible to say you're passed. Okay. So the numbers, you cannot directly pass without the numbers. That is the reason why we're focusing on numbers. As you can see, I want all those who are writing group 1 or both groups to pick up one person, to pick up one chartered accountant here, whose scorecard you can replicate. Whose scorecard you can replicate. So if you're writing group 1 or both groups, depending on the scores, somebody has got a 70 in FR, somebody has got a 50 in FR. So whose scorecard, looking at it, looking at all the numbers, whose scorecard can you correlate to? I want all of you to think, understand, and respond. Mention. Okay, Priyansi says Sweta's scorecard. Nice. That's an ambitious one. That's a pretty good score. Couple of exemptions. Yes, good. What about others? What about others? Prasanna wants Jeshwin's scorecard. Yes, that's decent and practical. Yes, understood. Rest of you, please try to see according to your strength. For example, somebody strength is an audit. Probably Jeshwin is the right guy, or Rishabh is the right guy, because their scores have been boosted because of their significant scores in audit. Fair enough. Clarissa says Rishabh. Okay, right. Probably you might have correlated to certain scores, which could include audit and law, good scores, and decent scores in F1, exemption, etc. Fair enough. Roji Jaswin. Jishnu wants Rajdeep's scorecard. Suvarna wants Sweta's scorecard. This is applicable for group 1 and people who are writing both the groups. Okay. I'll show you the group 2 scorecard in a while, in a minute. So hope you're able to see that. Hope you're able to see. Now, I quickly want all of you to type. What is the difference? What is the difference between your existing score and the desired score? Let's say somebody wants Bhavika's scorecard. 212 is what I have scored. If you have already scored 162, the difference is 50, right? 212 minus 162 is 50. Now, what exactly is the difference between your existing scorecard and desired scorecard? Difference between existing scorecard and desired scorecard. Please mention that number, whatever it is. It could be 50, 60, 100, anything is fine. But this minus the scorecard which you already got. Difference, only the total. Just mention the difference in your total. What is the difference in your total? That will help us understand how much effort has to be done in the next 100 days. For example, if your group 1 score is 170, Jeshwin scored 227. 227 minus 170 is equal to 67, right? Or 57, yes. So now this is the only thing which you have to focus. The number which you're talking about, somebody said 46, somebody said 51, somebody said 100, somebody has 74. So this is the only number which you have to focus upon. This is the only number which you have to focus upon. Understood, right? So you're getting some clarity. In 100 days, Clarissa has to score another 82 marks. That's it. That is exactly how you have to approach forward. Now let me quickly show you the score sheets of group 2 also. Now people who are preparing for group 2 alone and those who are preparing for both the groups, do the same. Please directly type the difference. First, decide whose scorecard you want to replicate. All those who are writing group 2, please mention whose scorecard you want to replicate. Whose scorecard you want to replicate? Shia Priyanka Mehta, yes. So mention the difference in scores between her score and your score. Pavni, fair enough. We have given all different scorecards. So you want to do it for Suresh. So mention the difference in marks. Difference in marks. That is what you have to get it. Fair enough. Okay, so now you understood, you got a basic context. Now let me take one more step forward. For this to happen, for you to get the group 1 scorecard like this, a group 2 scorecard like this, are combined. You just have to do a combination of both, right? So both groups will sync group 1 plus group 2. So you don't have to think about it very differently as long as you understood the dynamics of it. For this to happen, this is the prerequisite. Okay, this is the template. This is a perfect 3-year exam strategy where you have to cross 24 plus marks in the first 1 hour. If you have to get that kind of scorecard, this is how it has to happen. You have to cross 24 plus marks in the first 1 hour, another 20 marks in the next 1 hour by attempting 40, 40, 20 in this order. So the objective is to pass in the second hour itself. The objective is to pass in 2 hours. If you can score 40 plus in 2 hours, it is impossible for you to fail. If you can score 40 plus in 2 hours, yes, you need to get an exemption. Some papers you are not scoring, whatever story you might have in your mind. As long as you cross 40 plus, you'll clear that group. If you cross 40 plus in 2 hours in all 4 papers, you'll clear that group. If you agree to me on this, if you understood what I'm talking about, if you agree to me on this, please type agreed. If you agree to me on this, please type agreed. So for you to get this, okay, I'm once again building the correlation. For you to get this scorecard, you need to make sure you follow this pattern in the examination. For you to follow this pattern, this is what has to happen. In the first 1 hour, the 40 marks which you're attempting should be revised at least 5 times. The next 1 hour, the 40 marks which you're attempting should be at least revised 3 times. Unless there is a 5-time revision, unless there is 3-time revision, you may not be able to get the kind of scores which we are discussing here. All of this are interlinked. All of this are interlinked. If this is clear, please type clear. Perfect, yes, perfect. Thank you for sharing your confirmation. Now, let me give you the brief agenda. So this is exactly what we are discussing today. Bird's eye view. We already started with the bird's eye view. So what is the preparation kit which is required? What are the 3 phases of preparation and what are the milestones? Detailed schedule to clear both groups, schedule to clear single group. 3 secrets, extremely important, massive action plan. And most importantly, we are not just leaving you in 100 minutes. 100 minutes is a demo of what can happen if you spend the next 100 days with us. So towards the end, we'll give you an option to continue a journey for the next 100 days also. So you don't have to worry that this journey is ending in just 100 minutes. If you're understanding what we're talking about, if you're looking for this kind of support, if you're liking this quality of insights, we will definitely give you an option to continue with us for the next 100 days. But for that to happen, I want you to pay attention. I want you to pay attention. I want you to engage and I want you to involve yourself throughout the masterclass so that you'll be able to take a decision whether you want to spend the next 100 days with us or you want to do it alone. For you to know that, you have to pay attention to this. Okay. So with this context, let me start with the next aspect. So all those who are watching us live right now, we always offer joining bonuses. So for today, the joining bonus for the whole week, because this is the HLS anniversary week, we are celebrating our 3rd anniversary on July 22nd. If you want a VIP access pass with additional benefits, all you have to do is drop a mail. Just drop a mail to this mail ID. We have given you the mail ID. Thank you, Balaji. Thank you for that. So we have given you this mail ID. So you have to drop a mail with the subject. So just drop a mail with the subject, which I will share in the chat box. So just that is the subject, HLS access pass. Just drop a mail with that subject. We'll send you the invite at an appropriate time. And finish reward, those who will stay till we click the end button will get a finish reward as always. Okay, this is what we have. Now, context setting, please pay attention and stay till the end. Please pay attention and stay till the end and take notes and share the top 3 takeaways, because unless you share what are the 3 things which you have learned, you may not be able to implement things and all your individual queries will be answered at the end. I don't want the flow of the session to be disturbed. So that is the reason why we'll discuss and deal the questions at the end. So our vision is to transform 10,000 plus semi-qualified CAs into newly qualified CAs. Now, why are we doing it? Because the difference between semi-qualified CA and newly qualified CA, the opportunity cost is 75,000 per month, around 4.5 lakhs per attempt, around 10 lakhs per year. In the lifetime, it's a 10 crore difference. 10 crore difference. So we want to add 10 crore to each of this 10,000 family. You can multiply 10,000 into 10 crore. That is the kind of contribution which we are making to the CA families. We are super proud of our work. So you can become a part of our vision 10,000 plus by clearing your CA and uplifting the socio-economic status of your family. This is why we work so tirelessly and continuously. Probably even today at 5 o'clock, we would have received and wake-up call or probably would receive a mail with a message every single day. We keep doing it because we are very much connected to the grand vision of 10,000 plus, and you can also choose to become a part of this. Once you clear CA, this is the 3-stage career path which I was talking about. So the idea is to clear your CA in 1 attempt or 1 year. You should be able to clear CA in 1 attempt or 1 year. You would start making 1 lakh per month. But within 1 year of clearing, you can join at 60,000. But by the end of the year, you should start making at least 1 lakh per month. And you need to create a path to a net worth of 10 crore. Okay, these are the 3 stages. I hope all of you are looking forward to a 3-stage career growth like this. If the answer is yes, if you're also looking for something like this, please type yes. If you're also looking for something like this, please type yes. Perfect. So good to know that both of us are on the same page here. Perfect. So you're slowly understanding what is happening. The reason why we talk about bird's eye viewers, you need to know the complete picture, not just clearing. What will happen after clearing? Everything. Okay, we're just sharing the complete picture, and these are the things which we are going to cover before 12 o'clock. These are the set of things which we are going to cover before 12 o'clock. So we got started with this. First, when you talk about 100 days, you need to understand the 100 days has to be divided into 3 components at least. The first component is the revision. So the last 30 days, I'm starting with the end. As I said, if you have to clear your exam, you have to cross 40 plus in 2 hours. The last 30 days becomes very important. We call it cumulative revision. This is happening in the month of October. Now, before that, we do 2 phases of preparation. 2 phases of preparation or 2 phases of syllabus completion. If you are writing only one group, you can complete the syllabus. The cycle happens twice. If you're writing both groups, the cycle happens once. Okay, that is the difference. I'll share you more details. It will take 10 days in terms of rebuilding your mindset and restarting your routine. This is a very, very important process. Sorry, this is a very, very important process, because if you're not doing it, you will be stuck with the same problem every single time. It is important for you to build your mindset, build your routine and reset your mindset, because unless this is done, it becomes hard for you to maintain the preparation for the next 100 days. Okay, this is how it is going to be. And to be specific, if somebody is writing both groups, results are out here. We are starting. The official start date is July 23rd, where we are starting the 100-day program. And much before that, you should be in a mode. We already gave boot camps to all the students who have joined in. So boot camps will help you to get into the preparation process. They'll convert your thinking into studying. People are still thinking about studying, but there is actual studying, which is very important. Next, talking about August, once you start, you have to cross 40 plus in 4 papers in September. So when you're writing both the groups, we're looking at first primary group and secondary group. Primary group in August itself, you have to cross 40 plus in 4 papers. In secondary group, you have to cross 40 plus in another 4 papers. In October, you have to cross 50 plus in all 8 papers. In November, this is how it is going to be. This is exactly how the whole pattern has to happen. The reason why we simplified it is because most of the students write both groups and fail both groups. Instead of getting 180 plus 180, you would have rather got 210 plus 150. Instead of 180 plus 180, 210 plus 150 is a better score. 210 plus 160 is a better score than 180 plus 180, because it's a world of difference. If somebody is getting 360, if somebody is getting 360 and still failing, which means they are not using their common sense. If you cross 200, when ICS says one paper is done, one group is done, why are you not leveraging an opportunity? Score only 360, but the distribution of marks have to be efficient. The distribution of marks have to be proper. I'm not asking you to write only one group, but I'm asking you to think clearly in terms of the decision. You should, whenever you're writing an attempt, you should pass at least one group. You should pass at least one group. If you agree to this logic, please type agree, so that I'll understand we are on the same page. If you agree to this logic, please type agree. Thank you for the agreement on this. Now, if you follow this, if you exactly follow this approach, 40 papers in August, 40 plus in 4 papers, and in September 40 plus, by October around 50 plus, November is the result, 420 is what I'm talking about. You can see the actual result, 423. So this is Bhavika, who has cleared both the groups recently, and she also started like you. She failed one group. She was not sure whether to give one group also. She was also thinking whether she should proceed forward. The same stress, the same fragility, the same issues, but by following a particular preparation pattern, by following a particular preparation process, this is a scorecard which she was able to achieve eventually. So this is a scorecard which she was able to achieve as a result of following a proper strategy, right? So next we are looking into a single group. So when I'm talking about single group, the targets are slightly reduced. We're talking about targets which are slightly reduced. Instead of focusing on 40 plus right away, you can first reach 30 and then 45, 55 and score 230 plus. A good example would be of Jashwin, who has already scored closer to the 230 mark. Both of them are cleared recently, but I just wanted to give you practical examples in terms of how you need to use the schedule to get this scorecard. Your schedule and strategy directly affects your scorecard. Okay, so this is the context in which we got started. Now let us look at the preparation kit. Now this is important. We slightly go deep. So when you talk about preparation kit, there are 3 aspects. There are 3 aspects to your preparation kit. One is your internal resources. The other one is your learning resources. The third one implies your external environment. Now, when I talk about internal resources, we are talking about time, we are talking about energy, we are talking about attention. Time, energy, attention. How many of you here? How many of you here have already noticed issues in terms of handling your time, energy, or attention? How many of you already have issues in terms of handling your time, energy, and attention? No, let me share something very insightful. Let me share something very insightful. If you're having issues with your internal resources, which could be because of time, which could be because of attention, or because of energy, no matter if your internal resources are bad, no matter how well you try to use your learning resources, you might join the best faculty, you might buy the good book, you might enroll to a test series, you might have done everything in your capacity. But if your internal resources are not proper, your learning resources become useless. If your internal resources are not proper, your learning sources become useless. They would not help you. They cannot help you. Rather, if your internal resources are not sorted, external resource, or I would say learning resources cannot help you. Do you agree to this? You might have tried when you fail something, when you fail in a subject, when you fail in a paper, coming back and taking the coaching once again is not going to help you. You have to fix your internal resources. You have to fix your internal resources. Taking the same coaching 3 times, 4 times is not going to help. Rapid revision not going to help. Changing faculty not going to help. Changing books not going to help. Finding important questions in Telegram groups not going to help. So this is what you have to understand. So if you understand this, please type internal resources. Internal resources are important than learning sources. If you understand this, because this is the very, very key takeaway, which you have to know today, internal resources are important than learning sources. I want all of you to type it. This is the first takeaway. This is the first thing which you're learning today. Internal resources are important than learning sources. I want all of you to type this. Internal resources are extremely important than learning sources. If you do not recognize this, if you do not realize this, I want everyone to type this, because if you're not learning this, you'll never be able to fix your problem. You will never ever be able to fix your problem. So for all those who have been continuously chasing the external, or who have been continuously chasing the learning sources, what will happen is they are necessary but not sufficient. You'll see marginal improvement. You change the faculty, you change the coaching material, but you'll only see marginal improvement, nothing else. Marginal, very, very limited and marginal improvement. You won't see significant change. Now, some of you might be wondering what should be done. What should be done? If your internal resources are not proper, learning resources automatically are not going to help. You have to take the help of an external environment. You have to take the help of an external environment. If your internal resources are already proper, naturally your learning resources will help you. A lot of people just take coaching and clear. Many students will take coaching and clear. I'm not talking about them. That is necessary. That is sufficient for them. That is both necessary and sufficient for them. But for many people, it is not sufficient. If you are falling into that category, you cannot be able to, or you may not be able to fix the sources directly. Time, energy, attention cannot be fixed. It's not easy. Clearing CA is easier than fixing this, right? You need to understand it takes a lot of deep and detailed research in terms of understanding what is going wrong and what has to happen. So temporarily, for you to crack the exam, you have to create an external environment. If your internal resources are not working properly, you have to create an external environment. Now, what do I mean by external environment? We have three things. One is a study station. What is a study station? Because your mind is all over the place. Let's say if you can study, if your mind can focus whenever you want to study, you can study anywhere. You can study in a car, you can study in a park, you can study anywhere. But when you're not able to do that, you should actually figure out and find a workstation for studies, which we're calling it a study station. What is workstation? It'll work from a particular way. For example, somebody has to launch Chandrayaan 3. They cannot do it from work from home, right? You cannot do it with a button sitting somewhere. You have to be in a particular place. The core team has to sit and work on it. Now, when you have to launch your career, or when you have to skyrocket your scorecard, it is important for you to sit in a particular place all throughout. It could be at your home, it could be at your library, any point of time. From now till you clear the exam, you should have a workstation around you, because your mind is not in the right stage where it can study anywhere. So you have to build a study station. Even if you notice, 100% of my sessions happen here. You can see the background. Sometimes I keep the background on, sometimes I'll blur it, but 100% of sessions happen here, right? So this is my workstation. This gives me energy, this gives me positivity, this gives me command, confidence that I'll be able to deliver a lot of value to students who are trusting me and spending their time. So this is my workstation, or this is my workshop station, that for that matter. Similarly, you have to build a study station. This is number one. Okay. If you are clear about study station, please type study station. If you're clear about this, please type study station. Thank you for the responses. Now we'll move on to the next part, which is called study buddy. Now, study buddy is a concept which we bought in 3 years ago. The whole concept is all about having a preparation partner. Like when you start your practice, you have a partner, right? In a firm, there's a partner. So similarly, preparation is also difficult, just like practice is difficult, just like building a company, you have a co-founder, right? So study buddy is like a co-founder of your preparation. Study buddy is like a co-founder of your preparation. Now, can someone tell me which startup has a higher chance of success? Which startup has a higher chance of success? With a single founder or a co-founder? Single founder or co-founder? Which startup has a higher chance of success? Obviously, right? Because they can share the responsibilities. They can do things together. They can do things collectively. So that is exactly what we are talking about. So it is important to have one more person who is also preparing along with you, so that you can distribute the aspects of your preparation. You can distribute various things which you need to prepare. Okay. So I hope this part is also clear. So study buddy, it is very important to choose the right person. Which means that he should be able to trigger or improve your preparation. But unfortunately, students cannot choose the right partners. Students find it hard to find someone at the same seriousness. So that is the reason why it will in fact collapse. Group studies will become very counterproductive. Normally they study one chapter. When they sit for a group, they can't even study half chapter. That is the reason why they don't believe in group studies normally. But it has to be done with the right person. That is exactly what has to happen, right? So how to find all of that, I'll tell you. But right now, understand the concept. How we'll look at it. Let's look at what next. Study mentor. Now, when I say mentor is somebody who has already done what you want to do. Mentor is someone who has already done what you want to do and who can help you to do what you want to do. There are two conditions. He already did that, or he or she already has done it. He can help you do it. Done it can help you do it. These are the two conditions. A lot of people want to help you do it, but they're not done it themselves. So it becomes very hard for them to guide you. A lot of people have done it themselves, but they cannot help you. Sachin Tendulkar is a fantastic cricket player, but the same thing it was hard for him to replicate another Sachin Tendulkar because it is not in his quality to replicate that. Because that is the reason why he was not very keen about captaincy or becoming a coach. Some people are good at it, some people are extremely good at it, some people are not good at that. So I need to find someone who are good at both. It's a rare thing to do something and help others do it. So it could be a parent, it could be a teacher, it could be a faculty, it could be an external mentor. Anyone is fine. But you should look at these two abilities, not just the intention, but these two abilities are very important. Did they do it themselves, or can they do it for me? These are the two conditions which you should look at, right? So the reason why we're discussing external environment is if your internal resources are failing, you have to depend on the external environment. For example, if your lungs are not breathing normally because of COVID, what would you do? You'll go and use a ventilator. I'm not saying ventilator is required for survival, but when your career is in crisis, when your attempts are getting wasted, when you no longer believe that you will be able to clear CA at some point of time, so it's an ICU situation. Your career is an ICU, so you need to add a ventilator. That ventilator is an external environment. That is exactly what you have to realize. If you're not understanding the need of a ventilator, so as long as you keep thinking about something will happen, if you're waiting for the open air, for example, what is open air? YouTube. YouTube is open air. It's always there, but it's never there. You still need a ventilator, right? If you remove it, it'll go. Air is everywhere. Air is everywhere. But when your career is in crisis, when your life is in crisis, you need that additional mask, you need that additional ventilator, because it is very precise, it is specific, it is targeted, it is given to you based on the condition, not a generic or useless GAN which is existing all around. Hope you're able to understand the difference. And if you find this to be deep, please type deep. Not everyone can get it. If you understand the depth of it, please type deep. The reason why you're not getting solutions in YouTube, in Telegram, because it is free air, free environment, open air. What you need is a ventilator. I'm not saying everyone need it, but if you're already facing it, if you're having suffocation issues, if you're having breathing problem, you need it. Don't let anybody say otherwise. Don't let somebody say, I never use a ventilator, I live. You live, boss, but this is a different condition. Something happened, COVID happened, accident happened, you need a ventilator. So you have to start understanding. Don't start hoping for it, because there is a risk that there is a life risk. Here there is a career risk. I have seen hundreds of people who did nothing and nothing happened. Failed 3 to 4 times, did nothing. Still watching YouTube videos, still waiting for solutions on Telegram. Nothing is going to happen. So if you're serious enough, go for specific, precise, and personalized and customized solutions. That is exactly what we offer. I'll tell you about it at the end. Now I'm not going to share all of that, but I'm just telling you that it is important for you to know the difference. Now, otherwise, what will happen? You'll start blaming YouTube, or you'll start blaming those people who are trying to help you. They cannot help you. They don't have any ill intention. But when somebody wants to help 1.5 lakh people with a single video, that is not going to happen. That's not at all going to happen. So this part is what you have to clearly understand. Now that you understand the depth of it, I'm proceeding forward. So your internal resources, if you're lacking them, they have to be fixed by the external environment. So with this backdrop, let us know the 3 phases of preparation with clear-cut milestones. So let's look at 3 phases of preparation with clear-cut milestones. Again, guys, please don't keep pinging me. Please don't keep pinging me. We will provide you the external environment. I don't have an answer. Where can I find a study buddy? Who should I choose a mentor? All of that. Now, if you're getting connected, have some patience. I'll give you an external environment option completely. No, I would say we'll give you the external environment. We'll also fix the internal resources. We'll fix everything in a way. We have a single point solution where you need not go anywhere. Single point solution to clear CA in a single attempt. We have that. We definitely have that. But before we discuss about that, I want to see if you're patient enough. I want to see if you're committed enough. That is the reason why we don't offer any programs to be directly bought from the website. You have to go through a process. You have to go through, because this is not information. This is transformation. I'm transforming somebody into a semi-qualified to a fully qualified and newly qualified chartered accountant. I'm transforming somebody into from a struggling student to a super student. So this is the transformation process. What you get everywhere is information. Coaching class is information. Notes is information. Everything is information. Nobody focus on transformation. That is the reason why. Please be patient. I'll give you option. Like don't worry about it. I'll give you option to continue with this for the next 100 days. But until then, don't ask questions. We'll solve all your questions and I'll give an option at the end. Okay. So meanwhile, understand the flow. Please spend more time in deepening your perspective. Now, 3 phases of preparation with milestones. What exactly are the 3 phases? So the preparation for anything, has 3 phases, which includes planning, implementation, and improvement. Now, in the first stage, when you're looking at planning, the most important part is what exactly is the problem. Once you identify the problem, you need to take some decisions to solve this problem. And you need to build some skills to solve this problem, which means identification of the problem is very critical and very crucial. You have got fever. Anybody can, by touching your temperature, can say it is fever. But for somebody to say it is cholera, malaria, typhoid, whatever it is, you need a blood report. Generic GAN everyone can give you. Specific GAN only an expert who has experience can give you. Generic GAN is always free. Expert GAN comes with a premium. That is what you have to understand. You need to know what exactly is the problem and what exactly are the decisions which you have to take in order to solve this problem. What are the skills you have to take in order to solve the problem once again. So this includes, for example, scheduling. Planning level includes scheduling, strategy, scheduling, and various decisions which you have to take. Somebody like single group or both groups. So everything will come into this planning, implementation, improvement. So at planning level, you have to take all the decisions. You need to have a clear-cut strategy, group 1 or group 2 or both groups, and within that strategy, how many days you're allocating and what should happen as a schedule. Like I'll share you examples. But for now, just get the complete picture. Okay, this is about planning. Next, let's talk about implementation. Let us talk about implementation. Now, what happens in implementation? Now, implementation is planning is 1% still. Implementation is 99%. Okay, let me understand. Let me help you understand this rather. How many of you always keep making plans? How many of you are pro in planning? Like you keep making plans, but when it comes to implementation, you cannot implement it. You keep making plans, but you cannot implement it. How many of you experienced it? Every single day you plan something, nothing gets implemented. You start a new plan next day. How many of you experienced it? That's what you have to understand. Planning alone is not going to help. Good planning is necessary. See, a bad plan will never take you somewhere. Good plan without implementation also will never take you. So there is no difference between bad plan and good plan if there is no implementation. That is what you have to implement. Because even if you implement a bad plan, that is not going to work out. But same time, even if you build a very good plan without implementation, it becomes useless. So in implementation, we do 2 things. Okay, we do 2 things in implementation. Now that you understood planning part, we implement everything using a 5-step framework. Okay, what exactly is this? I'll explain later. But we implement everything using a 5-step framework, and the implementation happens in a cohort or group. The implementation happens in a cohort or group. Now, for you to understand this, how many of you experienced any events in college or any functions at home where there is a shadi, where there is an annual day? A lot of people come together and start working. No one person or one family does that. How many of you find it to be fun, even though there is a lot of work, even though there is a lot of chaos? How many of you find it to be fun and engaging? How many of you like that experience where you would have worked along with your friends or where you have worked along with your relatives to do a difficult task? It is fun, right? It is fun, right? Now, if you have to do it alone, let's say the same task, like decorating the entire home, decorating the entire college, sending invites to everyone. If you have to do it alone, how would it be? Now you say studying to, I would say working or building everything together is fun, right? If you have to do it alone, how would it be? If you have to do it all alone, how would it be? How would it feel for you? How would it feel if you have to do it alone? Okay, difficult, boring, yes. Difficult, yes. So this is exactly what we're talking about. The same thing is happening for your preparation. Now, something which can be done together, something which can be done together, if there is a possibility, if you're doing it all alone, it becomes boring. It becomes difficult, it becomes boring, it becomes overwhelming, it becomes challenging. Now, that is the reason why I mentioned about study buddy, where you're talking about one person. Imagine 36 people studying together in a group. Now it could be 36 or some other number. We choose 36. Now the reason is individual difficulty is distributed to an entire group so that the implementation becomes smooth. What is planning? Let us decorate the entire house. Planning done. This house has to be done with this. Each room has a theme. Okay. What is implementation? Building it in steps. Let's first arrange leaves and flowers. Next, let's focus on the walls. Next, let's probably arrange something for the guests. Now, let's build a path with flowers, different things. Now, once you plan things, you start implementing. How do you implement it? Each task is given to different people. You distribute, and once again, you review and you bring it together. You take care of each other's work. You support each other. You suggest each other. That is exactly how it is going to happen. Now, the same thing is going to happen in your preparation. Let's say I kind of bring in certain set of students with the same enthusiasm, with the same excitement, with the same commitment level. If I'm bringing them together, how would it be? How would your preparation experience be? If you have to visualize that, how would your preparation experience be? The same, these are the kind of people, these are the kind of people who are having a similar mentality, and most importantly, they definitely want to clear in the upcoming attempt. Wonderful, yes. I'll tell you the wonderful plan, the awesome plan towards the end. But yes, this is exactly how we kind of solve the implementation issue. More on 5-step framework and discuss. Now, when we're talking about improvement, some of you might have noticed your score is just getting stuck. It's not moving. It could be more than 3 attempts. If your score is getting stuck within a range of 20 marks, 10 marks here and there, 10 marks means 10 marks super. How many of you experience this where your score is stuck at a particular point? Where your score is stuck at a particular point? Now, all those people who are able to correlate to this is a missing piece of puzzle in your preparation. The reason being, your capacity is 170. That's it. You are planning implementation. Once again, planning, implementing, but you're not taking care of improvement. What if your capacity is only 170? How would you improve it from 170 to 220? So this exercise is not being done for majority of the people. So there is no improvement for majority of the people. That is the reason why we do improvement in 2 steps. One is called tracking or trackers. We use trackers. The second aspect, we use techniques. Now, what are trackers? Trackers are like blood reports. Now, trackers are like blood reports. Now, what do I mean by blood reports? In the hospital, before you go to a doctor, before the prescription, somebody gives you prescription, they go to blood report, right? They want to know what is happening with you. They want to know the diagnostics. Without knowing the diagnostics, they don't want to give a solution. Similarly, for you to improve, we kind of track your progress on a daily basis. I can show you some live, trackers also. And once we track what is happening, techniques will be given. So trackers are like blood reports, techniques are like medicine. So only when you see the blood report, you can give medicine. Otherwise, following techniques, you watch 3 techniques on YouTube, 3 techniques to improve your score, but you don't even know the problem. Why? It's like 3 medicines to improve your health. Let's say somebody says 3 medicines to improve your health, would you buy them? If you're not having that problem, would you buy them? This is exactly what is happening when you're watching a random technique on YouTube. You don't need that. That was never the problem. If you don't need it, even if you use it, it creates side effects, but it won't solve the original problem. If you agree to this, please type agree. If you agree to this, I'm going deep further. If you agree to this, please type agree. So the planning part, apart from what we discussed, it has to be customized. Okay, it is customized to you because plan has to be like your shoe size. A plan has to be like your shoe size. Okay, so planning has to be customized. Implement has to be ruthless or strict. Ruthless or strict implementation has to happen. Improvement need to be continuous. Customized planning, ruthless implementation, continuous improvement. Customized planning, ruthless improvement, continuous, ruthless implementation, continuous improvement. Now, if you get all these 3, if we give you all these 3, customized planning plus ruthless implementation plus continuous improvement, if we give all these 3 to you, how many of you clear in November 23? If you think you can clear, please type I can clear in November 23. If we give you all these 3. Perfect. Perfect. So now we understood, right? Now we understood what exactly is happening. So before I proceed forward, I have a good news and bad news. What do you want first? Good news or bad news? Good news or bad news? Okay. The bad news is customized planning, ruthless improvement, and continuous improvement, ruthless implementation and continuous implement. Customized planning, ruthless implementation, and continuous improvement cannot happen in 100 minutes. The bad news is no matter what I do, no matter how much intellect I invest into this presentation, they cannot happen because the implementation time frame is 100 days, not 100 minutes, right? You have to implement it across 100 days, not 100 minutes. 100 minutes, you can only plan. That too, planning is also not sufficient. You can only think about planning, but implementation has to happen over 100 days. Improvement has to happen over 100 days. Now you're realizing why. Now you're realizing why, even after watching a 100-day strategy YouTube video, nothing is changing, nothing is improving. Even after watching 100-day strategy videos, there are more than 100. I'm sure there will be 1,000 because this is where, oh, that is a common pitch, right? That is what everybody does. But for you as a student, why are you not able to improve? This is the reason. Because that is only talking about planning in 60 minutes or 30 minutes and 10 minutes. But the problem you have is in implementation for the next 100 days. An improvement over the next 100 days. You cannot implement and improve in the video, and then the video is gone. That's it. There is no correlation. There is no connection. If this is a bulb on moment for you, if this is a bulb on moment for you, please type bulb on. If this is a bulb on moment for you, please type bulb on. Bulb on. Dimag ka batti jalao. Bulb on. That's what we do. So one thing which I want to be very clear about this is stop wasting time. Stop wasting time on finding solutions which do not exist. That one question which will come in the exam, that one book which will transform your 20 score to 40 score, that one strategy which you can start implementing do not exist. They do not exist. They do not exist. If you did not find it for 2 years, even if you spend the next 20 years, you won't find it because of this particular problem, because you have an implementation problem, not a planning problem. You have an improvement issue, not a planning issue. Even the planning, the complete planning cannot be done. Reasonable perspective of planning. I'm only able to give 1% in this 100 minutes about what can happen in 100 days. This is a Balwan one. Okay. Now I'll tell you the good news. This is the bad news. Good news is we can do all of this in 100 days. Customized planning, ruthless improvement, continuous ruthless implementation, and continuous improvement. Yes, our improvement is also ruthless, but in a way, ruthless implementation, a strict implementation, and continuous improvement. We can do this over a period of 100 days. So what cannot happen in 100 minutes can happen in 100 days. That is the golden opportunity using which many of our students have cleared all the mark sheets. They have cleared. So this is the good news, and extended good news is we are going to take 3 admissions today into the 100-day program. We take only 3 admissions. So for you to become eligible for that, you have to start paying more attention. You have to start participating more, and you have to start learning the concepts at a deeper level. The same level. If you are the same person, you're not going to clear. Take it from me. If nothing changes, if you don't change your mindset, if you don't change your routine, if you don't build your skills, if you don't enhance your memory retention, if you don't increase your exam presentation, you'll end up getting the same result even after 50 attempts. Take it from me. If nothing changes, nothing changes. If you change nothing, nothing changes. So that is the reason why I'm increasing the depth of your knowledge. I'm improving the span of your thought process. This is something which nobody will tell you. This is something which nobody can do it for you. I'm not talking about bullshit motivation. I'm not talking about motivation. Motivation is like a drug. What is the problem with a drug? Can somebody see? We talk about drugs, right? Can somebody tell me what exactly is the problem with a drug? Drugs make people happy, right? Drug, cocaine, and everything make people happy. What is the problem? If you're smart enough, you'll be able to respond. What is the problem with drugs? I'm not talking about morality. I'm not talking about morality. Absolutely wonderful, wonderful, Priyansh, wonderful. Who is this? Vishal. Yes, very good. Yes, yes, Varsha. The temporary, short term, you get happy, you get high, but that's short term. That is not going to achieve something. That is not going to arrive or complete something. The same with motivation. Short term, 10-minute drug, 10-minute drug, and not only that, when you see someone who is consuming drugs, that will have long-term consequences, right? That will have long-term consequences. It has side effects. All of you understand. Even getting exposed to motivation, it has side effects. It is proved because you are artificially boosting your confidence to a level which should normally take months. You're artificially boosting it. You're artificially doing it. Anything doing artificial or anything linked to dopamine is dangerous. Now that is the reason why people refrain you from watching too much of porn. Like there is always an ethical and moral concept of it. Let's not get into that. I'm talking about the practical aspect of why a lot of philosophers and all religions, a lot of coaches, trainers, everybody say beware of it. Nobody says absolute no, but this is the reason. Artificially, it stimulates your brain to a very different level, which cannot be sustained, which cannot be done practically, which cannot be implemented on a day-to-day basis. Same happens with motivation. Study for 20 hours today, probably today. What about tomorrow? What about day after tomorrow? That is the reason why if you're artificially boosting it, your brain gets confused and it starts, creating inferiority complex. Now, when you got motivated, you're willing to study for 12 hours, which is not possible directly. When you try to sit, you could do only 3, 4, or 5, and then you look at what was your target and what was the result. That will further demotivate. You'll fall in a spiral. How many of you have been there, where you watch a motivation video, try to implement it, that will hit your self-esteem further. You'll further feel motivated. You'll start watching one more motivation video. So how many of you have been there? If you have been there, please type being there. If you have been there, please type been there. No, it's okay if you have been there, but don't get there once again. Do not get there once again. Dangerous. Beware of motivation. Motivation is dangerous than drugs. Drugs are at least not available. Motivation is unfortunately available all across. Beware of motivation. This is something, don't even touch it one more time. Build it systematically, build it organically. Otherwise, what will happen? You're confident all the time, except in the exam. Like it's like balloon, somebody pricks it, it does. Your confidence should be like football. You should bounce, you hit it hard, it should bounce, come back. You hit it to the wall, it should bounce, come back. That is what is mentorship. That is the bloody reason why we ask for 100 days, we don't make useless videos which are trying to rev it up in 10 minutes. What nonsense. You see, nothing wrong on their part. They want views, they want subscriptions, that's totally fine. Nothing wrong. It's not appropriate to blame them. They have their agenda. Now, what is their agenda? Artificially getting driven up like a mad monkey or a mad donkey, or build this capability, build this capacity like a racehorse. This is what you have to look at. Racehorses don't get motivated, right? They get trained. They get trained. Training, not motivation. They get trained. This is what it is. Donkeys get motivated. They'll take a whip, right? They'll hit them hard. Move, move, move. That's what it is. Horses get trained. Now, what do you want? Now, what do you want? What are you looking for? Let's understand what is your expectation. Training or motivation? What do you want? What do you want? I want to solve it forever. If you're listening to me right now, I want to solve it forever. You have to get trained. Hardcore training, yes. Hardcore training, yes. When you're trained, you don't need motivation. When you train, you don't need motivation. Because training improves skill building. Training improves decision making, problem solving, all of that. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Once again, once in a while, medicine is okay. But every single day for you to take, let's say sleeping pill, if you're having severe headache, not able to sleep, okay. Anesthesia, some problem, surgery, okay. But all of this should not be taken on a daily basis. Motivation, once in a while you feel low, that's okay. All of us, you will do it, I'll do it, that's okay. But that is not what you have to learn. Like, right? Now I hope the seriousness of the people here has increased significantly. So the good news is, we'll do the training for you. Now that's what is mentorship all about. Mentorship is all about training you, not motivating you. Unfortunately, the name is mentorship, but what you're getting is motivation once again. Motivation is repacked as mentorship, unfortunately. So that is the reason why you have to beware. That is the reason why you have to know where are you going to get trained. So that is exactly what is happening. So the first 15 minutes, we have done the same. Before I proceed to the second segment, I want you to share your experience of the first 50 minutes in one word. How has been your experience in the first 50 minutes of this masterclass? As I said, it's a very different masterclass, very different from our own workshops, very different. Insightful, realistic, helpful, eye-opener. Fantastic, guys. Thank you. Thank you. These are the kind of words. Yes. Practical. Yes. Truthful. Yes. That's the word which I like. Yes. Yes. This is exactly how the 100-day journey with us is going to be. This is what it is. Right? Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Now, as we're discussing in planning, there are a lot of things which we have to discuss further or get into details. Should I even continue in CA? Can I study along with the job? Should I directly attend a new syllabus? Should I write single group or both groups? Should I take coaching? Should I consider mentorship? I no longer feel like studying. I do not have confidence. All of this are fine. Like I'm telling you, all of this, I would say most of them can be resolved within 1 hour. Most of the problems which you're struggling with, which you're stuck with, something as big as should I even continue in CA, that problem can be resolved within 1 hour if you talk to the right guy. If you talk to the wrong guy, even after 1 year, you'll still be stuck. Even after clearing CA, you'll still be stuck. So that is exactly why you need to get the right input from the right set of people. Okay. So these are various examples which will all get resolved during the process. So we'll all consider this in the planning. So we kind of, the reason why we take admissions upfront or earlier when the batch starts is because in this period, in the initial period, we'll cover all of this. This is exactly what is going to happen. Okay. And these are some of the steps which we use in the implementation process. So box putting technique will help you to set right your mood swings. Focus block slots, improve your concentration. Full study sessions, improve your consistency. As I'm speaking to you, they're sitting and studying since 5 o'clock in the morning. So imagine, I don't know how many hours you have studied already. They've already completed 4 to 5 hours at this junction. So every single day, somebody is studying more, somebody is studying better. You're missing out. That should pinch you. If you're missing out, somebody is doing at least 4 times, 5 times more than what you're doing, should definitely consider what is exactly working for them and what is it you have to do for them, right? And then 5 day boot camp, 1 week base camp, 10 day strategy, weekly cumulative revision, 50-hour challenge, 20-hour challenge, 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, let's course. All of this are techniques and trackers for improvement. Okay, some of them are used for implementation, some of them are used for improvement. So I'm talking about this because for a wide range of problems which you're talking about, we use very simple, effective, and easy to implement solutions. Simple, effective, and easy to implement solutions. Right now, let's look at a schedule, a draft schedule in terms of understanding how you can clear both groups. So this is exactly how it has to happen. When you're talking about a single group, when you're talking about single group, let's start with the single group first. The first 10 days, like you're learning something, right? You're understanding something. You're trying to get a very different perspective of preparation here. You're getting a very different perspective of preparation right now. So this perspective will deepen it, will help you understand the nature of different subjects, and all of this is going to happen within the first 10 days. Out of 100 days, first 10 days is all about building a mindset, building a routine, and covering one subject. We'll cover one subject also, but the focus is on helping you build a strong mindset and reset your mindset and build a strong routine. These are the things which are happening. Next, if you're writing only one group, the next 10 days, you're going to spend 10 days each for each subject. So in 30 days, this month is August. In August, you will be able to complete 3 more papers. By August 31st, your syllabus will be done once. 10 days for each subject with practical techniques, with this kind of support, the syllabus will be reasonably done, where you can score at least 40 plus. I gave you the schedule, right? Hardly 35 plus, but I'm sure if you do it, if you follow the technique which you're talking about, you can score at least 40 plus. So that is exactly what is going to happen by August 31st. Now, September 31st, you're going to do a second cycle of preparation. Lot of people are always stuck with the first cycle of preparation. Now we are going to make you do the second cycle of preparation also. The second cycle of preparation is very, very, very important. So that is exactly what we are going to make you do. Second cycle of preparation. This is a game changer. All those who are stuck in 170, 180, how did Jashwin, after getting stuck in the 170, 180 range, how did he move to 27? This is it. We have implemented a second cycle of revision and second cycle of syllabus completion also for group 1. Next, for group 2, this is how it is going to happen. You'll be able to complete 4 papers before August 31st. So 4 papers of primary group. 4 papers of primary group. The reason why I'm giving you 10 days for primary group. The reason why I'm giving you 10 days for primary group is because you will be in a strong position to complete at least one group. Start with a group which you are reasonably more confident, or relatively more confident of clearing, so that you have a higher chance of clearing that group. Once you understand that you are going to cross 40 plus, at least take it. Once you understand that you are going to cross 40 plus, that is when you can think of the secondary group. That is when you can think of the secondary group. Okay, so this is how your schedule is going to work out. And as I mentioned, everything will be customized. So this is I cannot show hundreds of examples in a limited time. Everything can be customized. Everything can be fully customized for a set of people who are looking for it. Okay, so this is going to happen for you. So if the schedules are clear, if the schedule overview is clear, please type clear so that I can proceed forward. Perfect. So we looked into the part. So next we are moving into 3 secrets. Before we come into the in action plan, we'll discuss the daily schedule, what has to be done for full-time students and what has to be done for the articleship students. Okay, so full-time students and working professionals, articleship students. We looked into the overall strategy in a particular way. Then we look at the day-by-day schedule, like what has to be done today, how are you, hourly targets, how do you set, and all of that. Those are the last two topics. Okay, that before we leave, these are the two topics which we are going to discuss. Now let me look into the 3 super secrets. I want you to pay a lot of attention once again. This is very, very important. I want you to invest attention further into this 3 super secrets. Let's start with the super secrets. The first secret: you'll never fail in the examination, but in the preparation. You'll never fail in the examination, but in the preparation. Now, what exactly is this secret all about? So we mentioned C.A. Suresh Kalvarala. You will never fail in the exam, but in the preparation. It all started in the month of December 2020. While I was surfing through social sites, I came across an advertisement regarding a workshop called Super Students Stating Their Goal. And okay, that was an advertisement line. He joined because he understood that people only fail in preparation, not in the examination. I immediately registered for the workshop and attended the workshop on 21st of December 2020 to 25th of December 2020. Then I came to know about mentorship, but did not register for the program, thinking that I got enough time for May 2021 and fees was not up to my standard. Now that is the reason I told you, right? Lot of CA students, unfortunately, they overvalue money and undervalue time. They overvalue money and undervalue time. They spend months and months wasting time for a single simple lesson, which faculty, which book, whatever it is, or probably let me get a discount. All useless factors, all absolutely useless factors, which has no relevance in the long run. Even if you end up saving 20,000 in your entire coaching, let's say the maximum you have to invest 80,000. If you end up investing 1 lakh for the 20,000, if you're taking so many decisions, that is draining your energy, useless. What should you do? You should focus on clearing this exam at the earliest. If you clear 1 month or 6 months ahead, if you clear 6 months early than what you would have cleared, it's a difference of 5 to 6 lakhs outrightly. And most importantly, the opportunities which you grab at that attempt are very different to the subsequent attempt. So earlier, very good companies to come, that keeps changing. So it is important for you. It is important for you to understand that you have to sort your preparation before you worry about examination. You have to sort your preparation, and you need to pay enough respect for time. The time has to be absolutely respected. That is the 2 learnings from the first paragraph. After 6 months, I realized that I'm going to fail May 2021 exam, but I could complete only 1 revision, that too on a selective basis. Now, he has understood that he's going to fail the May 2021 exam because he did not complete the syllabus. He did not complete the revision properly. That is what I'm saying. He'll only fail in the preparation. He failed in the preparation here. He failed in the preparation, which automatically got reflected in the exam. If you fail in the preparation, you'll automatically fail in the examinations. That is something which is done. So if you're struggling somewhere, if you think you need some support, it is time for you to stand up and open up and decide what is it you need to go ahead and clear the group. Nobody would bother about how much money you have saved, but everybody would be interested in how fast you are cleared, including your parents. So that is something which you need to understand. So after 6 months, I realized that I'm going to fail May 2021 exams. I will compensate only 1 revision. That on selective basis, I give the month exams in the month of July and fail. This is what I said. As it is said, life has always gives second chance. It is the month of September when I came to know about the 6 month mentorship program. I had applied and selected for the program, but now the fees for the program is relatively higher. Obviously, we keep increasing the fee because the value, the quality, the results, everything keeps increasing. So the fee also has to increase. I somehow managed the fund. Then my journey towards he paid a lot more than what he should have paid earlier, and he had joined. This time, all I have is 80 days for my exams, and I have started preparing under the guidance of Imakansar, and the result is passed. I'm thankful to Imakansar for letting me know my mistakes and teaching me techniques of learning and providing the right guidance toward the program. So this is what it is. What exactly are the mistakes and what are the techniques for you to overcome? So this is the most important component. What exactly are the mistakes people are doing? What exactly are the mistakes students are doing? And how are you going to find solutions for them, right? So this is what he has mentioned. So the objective is you'll never fail in the examination, but in the preparation itself. This is about the first case study. Second case study, Super 36 is a successful combo of smart work and hard work. I was a student of Super 36 batch. I cleared my CA number 28, but before joining in prep school, I thought I was failing in the exam. But after joining, I realized that I was failing in the exam preparation itself. After joining, I realized that I am failing in the exam preparation itself. So when she realized that exam preparation is a core problem, she took certain steps she removed herself from the working perspective. She gave her some freedom. And that is when she started using all of these techniques. Most of the CS students lack an effective approach in learning self-evaluation. With the help of techniques such as color coding, 5-time revision, weekend exam, self-evaluation indexation, I was able to learn the subjects and revise the subject effortlessly. She's talking about using techniques. So all of you are saying preparation is bored, preparation is hard, preparation is difficult. So it's talking about effortlessly. Effortlessly is interesting, effortlessly is easy. So by following techniques, you can convert what is difficult into what is easy. However, you must not be the impression under impression that success is guaranteed by joining the mentorship unless you're ready to dedicate yourself to the process. Obvious, you have to dedicate yourself to the process. Kim Life School provides an atmosphere where even hard work becomes an effortless process due to the impact of group study, group tracker, healthy competition. Fantastic. Now, how many of you can correlate this? How many of you studied about atmosphere? How many of you studied about group studies and all of that? We discussed it. Where did you study? All those who are listening to me, all those who are there since the last 30 minutes, where were you listening? Where did you listen to this? Where did we discuss this? Even hard work becomes an effortless process due to the impact of group study, group tracker, and healthy competition, one-to-one guidance, and all of this. Absolutely, absolutely. External environment, external environment. You're right. External environment. Yes, right. But if your internal resources are not proper, learning sources won't help. You need an external environment. Wonderful. That's what we're able to create for her. That is exactly what we have created for our external environment. So this is the reason why she was able to find it. And one-to-one guidance and motivation helps me rectifying the weakness in the study approach. So that's a successful combo of smart and hard work, which help us to achieve our goal of dream of becoming a CA. I highly recommend each and every one of you join Life School. It will increase the probability of you becoming chartered accountant. Absolutely, this is something which everybody will agree. It significantly increases the probability. Okay, so this the lesson is once you start applying techniques, the hard work or a lot of effort which you're putting becomes effortless. It becomes effortless. Now, secret number 2, identifying the problem is difficult and finding the solution. So this is a very, very important deep case. Once again, he's talking about in an equation. It's a math case, so he's talking about equations. Success is equal to C, X is equal to X factor plus Y factor plus Z factor. So this is something which you need to clearly break down. What is your Y factor? Y factor is something which is linked to a subject. X factor is something which you don't know. X factor is something which you don't know. That is what it said. We don't know or what we lack it precisely. We don't know how to overcome it. Even if we don't know how to overcome it, we still ignore it. So it's talking about the X factor, which is hiding someone's potential. So both of us, had a reasonable understanding. So which helped me to identify his X factor. That's what is mentioned. Sir, having seen monitor interacting and helped many people, students in that specific CA exam domain, and helped me clear identify my X factor. So the X factor is something which is very specific to a unique individual. So this is something which you definitely have to identify, whether it is positive or negative. You need to know what exactly is the X factor. So that X factor, sometimes you may or may not be able to identify yourself. So when you go to the right person, it's like a doctor diagnosing the disease. You have a problem, you don't know what it is. So when you go to an experienced or expert solution provider, they'll be able to help you identify the X factor. This is what is said. And he mentioned that sir has seen, monitored, interacted, we discussed, helped many people. The specific CA domain has helped me clearly identify my X factor. So he's talking about somebody having experience can be easily used to identify your X factor. And finally, remembering is not normal, forgetting is. So what exactly is this all about? So when I say remembering and forgetting, you need to understand it is important for you to know that your memory is not bad, memory is bad. Your memory is not bad, memory is bad. The general tendency of memory is to forget, not to remember. The default option of memory is to forget, not to remember. By default, memory forgets everything. By default, memory forgets everything until somebody does it consciously, until a deep layer is added consciously because of certain things. Otherwise, memory is supposed to be not normal. Remembering is not normal. Forgetting is normal. How many of you feel relieved after looking at this? You might be worrying about your bad memory and all of that. How many of you are feeling relieved? How many of you are feeling relieved? Perfect. So let's see how this can be fixed or what made us say this. Rajdeep Nag, well, the experience of Subudhar is magical. I say so because it solved one problem which we usually face to it. Remember a particular stuff. Subudhar helped me in the following way: 5-time revision technique, focus block slots, ability to retain content for longer period, claims of sir that this would be the last investment exam of your life for CA final exam is what derived me to join this, and hence it proved to be true as I am CA Rajdeep now. Now this is very important. This is very important. If you're having some clear-cut memory issues, you have to fix it. You cannot ignore it. You cannot just not do anything about it. And that is the reason why he spoke about memory so many times. He talks about which usually is remembering here, 5-time revision here, written content for longer bit here. So he mentioned memory 3 times because that is how deeply it has helped him. And probably if these techniques are not there, I'm not sure if you would have got the same result. See, the point is techniques are like catalysts. Individually, they're nothing, but together they'll become very powerful. So that way, these things have become powerful. And this is an interesting line, which is that claims of sir that this would be the last investment in exam of your life for CA final is what derived to join this. Same, just like Suresh, all the students, like all the students who have joined us have joined the workshop. Similar workshop, same, where we give around 90 to 100 minutes of overview and content, and somebody is interested, they'll take this next step forward. So what happened is in that workshop, Rajdeep, a lot of students have joined, and Rajdeep was hesitating and he asked me, sir, I have this issue. I've already invested too much in coaching. I don't want to depend on my parents. What should I do? I told him one thing very clearly. Something has worked, it would have already worked. So don't make sunk cost decisions. Don't lose the next attempt because you've invested something for coaching in the last attempt. So don't make sunk cost decisions. Take clear-cut decisions from today. Now, if you have to clear from today, what is it you need? Can you do it alone or do you need someone? Now, if you need someone, go for the best possible solution, which will significantly increase the probability of clearing. So once we discussed, I told him very clearly, if you follow what we are saying, if you implement what we are saying, I assure you that this is the last exam of your life. And this is the last time you're investing for something, whether it's mentorship or coaching. This is the last time you're investing for CA, and this is the last ever investment for your life in terms of doing this CA. So that was very attractive for him, and that was very lucrative for him. So he went ahead and joined, and that's the reason why he was kind enough to come back and mention that clearly, so that others don't make the mistake of thinking too much and wasting time. So this is what the story of Rajdeep, where he has mentioned the importance of 5-time revision and ability to retain content for longer period of time. And this is something which he is giving general and deep advice to everyone who are interested to clear in November 23. So with this context, I want to understand, if I give you the same assurance, the similar assurance, where I'm telling you, if you follow our 50-day plan, if you take the help of our entire implementation, like 100-day plan, 100-day implementation, and 100-day improvement support. If we give you all of this, how many of you are willing to invest the next 100 days with us? How many of you are willing to invest the next 100 days with us? How many of you are willing to invest the next 100 days with us? Thank you for your trust and enthusiasm. Yes, we would definitely give you an option in terms of understanding what are the possible things which will happen in the next 100 days and how can we help you to become a chartered accountant within your given deadline of November 23, right? So if you want to know more about this, if you want to understand more about this 100 days, please give me permission to discuss more on it. And if you want me to proceed, please type proceed, because I'm seeking your permission to talk about it in a detailed manner, because I've given you a context. I've given you a context here. Thank you for this. Thank you for the permission. Thank you. There are a few more things which we'll discuss. We'll discuss after this towards the end of the session. Okay. Thank you for this. So now what will we do? Okay. What will we do? We are mixing the schedule and I'm correlating this with the mentorship program which we do, Super 36. Now, the reason why we are doing this is some of you are showing extreme interest. I cannot take everyone, but I can take 3 people today. That is exactly how admissions happen. You might be asking, how do people join? Because we don't have a website, we don't allow students to join directly. How do we take it? Only through workshops, so that they understand what is happening and then they decide, right? So this is about Super 36 schedule. Now, what will happen? And see, Now we are clear about the schedule part. Let's say you're joining today. What will happen for the first 10 days, next 30 days, next 30 days, next 30 days, exam days, everything is clear. Starting from pass in 2 hours. In order to pass in 2 hours, you have to revise everything in 1.5 day. In order to revise everything in 1.5 day, you have to study exclusively for revision in October. That is for 30 days. The syllabus completion happens in 60 days. If you're writing both groups, one cycle. If you're writing single group, 2 cycles. If the schedule part is clear, let's look into the daily action plan or daily steps. If the schedule or the overall strategy is clear, please type clear so that we'll move further deep into this. Is that clear for all of you? Fair enough. Fair enough. Fantastic. Good. So now let's talk about this. What we're adapting, please listen to me carefully. Pay attention. I'm sharing something which you would not have never heard about. What we are doing here is called maximization strategy. What we are doing here is called maximization strategy. I'll explain you what maximization strategy is. For example, if you're going in a road, if you're driving your car on a road trip, if your tire goes flat, if your tire goes punctured, to be in a simple way, if your tire goes flat, how much time would it take for someone to come and fix it? Let's say you're going from Udaipur to Jaipur, okay, Western Ghats, or any road, Hyderabad to Mumbai, you're going in a highway where you're not in a city, where the tire goes flat. How much time will it take for someone to come and fix it? Give me an approximate time. Give me an approximate time. How much time? How much time will it take for someone to come and fix it? How much time? How much time will take for someone to fix it? So this means you have never been on a road trip. It means you have never been on a road trip. When I said I'm not talking about city, I'm not talking about you moving within the city where everything is connected. On a highway, when you have to go, when you're out of the city. Now this is the response which you're typing. The response which you're typing is a reason why you're most likely not able to understand what it takes for preparation. The response which you're typing right now is the reason, because you don't have a practical and realistic understanding of how much time it will take for you to solve the problem. It will take at least 30 minutes for you to communicate. Now imagine this. Okay, imagine you're in some highway. Okay, your tire goes flat. You don't see anyone. Whom would you call? Mechanic will come. Whom would you call? Tell me practically. Whom would you call? Which number would you call? Think with this. Whom would you call? Which number would you call? Now you would not see any particular mechanic in the road, right? On the road, you don't know. You just come, you just cannot call. On the highway, where would you get friend? On the highway, I'm talking about road trip. I'm talking about road trip. I'm talking about road trip. See, how many of you have actually got it fixed, guys? How many of you actually got a tire fixed? And how many of you go to a road trip? Road trip is not going on the road, not on any road. How many of you went to a road trip? How many of you got a tire actually fixed? When you, especially traveling through Western Ghats or something. How many of you got your tire fixed? How much time it took? How much time it took? How many of you got it fixed by someone else? How many of you got it fixed by someone else? Fair enough. Okay, that's right, Nehal. Okay. If you're fixing yourself, it takes at least 20 to 30 minutes. Okay, this is done. When you have to wait for someone, when they have to come all the way and fix it, how much time it takes? When you have to wait for someone, when somebody has to come and fix it. Fair enough. Okay, we're looking at two ranges, right? If someone has to come and fix it, we're looking at 2-3 hours. And if you have to do it, 30 minutes. Okay. 30 minutes is what you're taking minimum if you have to fix it yourself. If someone has fixed it for you, it is taking 2-3 hours, right? That is exactly what we arrived upon. Now, how many of you watched the Formula One race? Formula One, F1 race. F1 race, car racing. Now, tire changing, how much time? How much time will they take to change the tire? How much time they will change the tire in the pit stop? How much time? How much time? This is exactly what I'm talking about. Mostly, let's give it a minute, okay? 10 seconds or whatever. Let's give it a minute or 2 minutes. Whatever takes, whatever is supposed to take 2-3 minutes is taking here 30 minutes. Whatever is supposed to take 2-3 minutes is taking here 30 minutes. Now the difference is, somebody rightly mentioned, they're anticipating it. Now what is anticipation? They know that they're in a race. They know that they're in a race. I like this sentence exceptionally well, Rosie. They know that they're anticipating it. They know that they're in a race. They know the value of the time. So you should also anticipate the preparation hiccups. You should also anticipate the preparation gaps. When you're trying to crack an exam with 10%, when you're trying to crack an exam with 10% pass percent, you should anticipate this. It's not a 100% pass percent exam. You should anticipate what should you anticipate? There are a lot of decisions which you have to take. There are a lot of problems which you have to solve. There are a lot of skills which you have to build. In each attempt, it's like, let's say somebody takes 30 minutes in a Formula One race, the race is gone, right? The time is gone. The entire lap is gone. Because they did not anticipate, the team does not have someone who can fix it. Even if it's delayed by a few minutes, it is gone. A few seconds, it is gone. Now that is what is happening for you. Now what you're doing is optimization. What is optimization? You're going randomly, something happens, then you're deciding, let me fix it myself, let the driver fix it, let somebody fix it. So this is optimization. You're letting things in a reactive manner, not taking a proactive approach to things. Now, what would a Formula One race driver would do? These guys anticipate. They have somebody, they invest into something in an ecosystem and their team where when a glitch happens, they're fixing it because it's worth it. Winning the race is worth it. Now, you need to understand, is clearing worth it for you? Is November 23, is clearing in November 23 worth it for you? No matter what you do, no matter how many resources you have to mobilize, no matter what exactly is the level of support you would need from external people also, is it worth it? Yes or no? Is clearing CA in November 23 worth it? Yes or no? Right. Now you understand what we do. We are like the pit stop. We will convert your highway into a race track. We will convert your entire preparation highway into a race track. Pit stop. We are F1 racers. Not a roadside mechanic where somebody, what is motivation? It's like a roadside mechanic. Somebody wants something, they just do it at some point of time. It's not in real time. Right? It doesn't have the same impact as this has because we're anticipating. We anticipate problems, we anticipate decisions, we anticipate these are the kind of skills which are required, right? We are shifting the journey which is going randomly in a highway in your regular car, which is your regular mind, your regular untrained mind. Look at the speed, look at the challenges and all of that. Had you noticed, even in a Formula One race, even driving at 300, 400, the number of accidents are less than a regular car driving at 50, 60. Have you noticed? How many of you have noticed? How many of you thought about it? How many of you thought about it? Yes, you're smart enough, right? Why is that happening? Even at driving at 300 or 400 kilometers, or 200, 250 kilometers, versus driving at 60, 70 kilometers, why are they not getting into accidents? Yes, they're all prepared, they're all trained, they're prepared, they're trained. That's what it is: preparation, train, support system, ecosystem. Now, if you want us to intervene you to 100-day journey, we are converting your highway, we are converting your highway and your regular hatchback into a race course with a racing car, the proper pit stop. This is the first change which we are doing. How many of you think this is powerful? The shift which you are talking about powerful. Imagine yourself getting trained like this. Imagine yourself in a racing car position. How many of you think this is a powerful change? You're doing randomly things ridiculously, are not giving it enough thought, versus you having a timeline, you having a racing lap. You're creating a racing lap for you, not preparing randomly. If you think this approach, which I'm talking about, is powerful than your regular preparation, please try powerful. If you think this approach is powerful as compared to your regular preparation, please try powerful. You should anticipate what I'm saying. You should know what I'm talking about. This is called maximization. What is maximization? This is the only attempt. You're bringing in everything together. Gully cricket versus international cricket. Gully cricket, nobody cares whether you are batting or bowling or fielding anything. Nobody gives a damn. International cricket, you have audience, you have a coach, you have a captain, you have a team, you have a physio. That's what happens. That's the concept of Super 36. We are converting your gully game into international game, where there are people, where there are audience, where the students watching each other, where there is a coach, where there is a mentor, where there are specific subject, specific experts, where that is exactly how the training has to happen. No matter how many matches you play at the gully level, it's not going to get improvised. See, you have to have something. The whole point is you cannot directly start with international level. At some point of time, you need to know you have to win an international match, you need international training, right? So this is exactly what is going to happen. Now, this is the kind of quality which you are experiencing because we shifted it. From regular, nonsensible, unrealistic stuff to very precise and sniper shots, not random machine gun hits, sniper shots. Every slide hits you hard. Every slide brings you closer to reality. So that is exactly the object of this. And this is what we do for a full-time student. How many of you are full-time students here? We have a different plan for full-time and limited time students. How many of you are full-time? The full-time student, please type FTS. Perfect. So if you're a full-time student, this is exactly how your day looks like. Your day starts at 4:45. And you might tell me, I'm not a morning person. I'm not habituated to wake up early. I wake up at 4:45. Keep all those with you, we'll resolve them all. Whatever problem I have, will resolve. Making you wake up is our responsibility, not your responsibility. You don't have to worry about it. That's the reason why we wake you up with a wake up call. Okay. So it works like a power booster and we make certain changes in your body, diet, and everything so that you can start waking up early. And you might have seen most of the students waking up around 4 to 4:30 in our program. And the screenshots which you have saw, you can find that, and most of them are able to complete 40-50% of target much before. Right. So what happens is your day starts at 4:45. And magic of mornings will start with previous day revision, and there's something called box breathing technique, and there's success meditation or visualization. This is what happens, and followed by live study hours. So live study hours, your daily targets are customized. The target which you have to do on a daily basis are customized to you individually. As I said, a target should be like a shoe size, not the shoe brand. Shoe brand, anything would not work. Just because you say Nike, it is not enough. What is your size? So schedule also, it should be according to your size. Target should be customized. So this target will be given to you. So this have to be executed in these 3 sessions, 1, 2, 3. First session 6 to 9, second session 10 to 12, third session 2 to 5. It is also scientific. Every 3 hours, you'll get 1 hour break, and then you study for 2 hours. And then you get 2 hours break, you study for another 2 hours. That's it. So your studies happen from 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. is your study window. That's it. After 5 p.m., you're taking 1 more hour break, then 2 hours of revision and writing practice. Every single day, revision and writing practice. So normally students would need 17, 18 hours to achieve this output. We'll achieve that output in 8 to 9 hours. So that is a kind of qualitative and quantitative intervention. And there will be day end revision with daily advanced discussion, which will work for your summary notes. Like on a daily basis, you have to revise what you have studied. So that day becomes complete in itself. We'll do multiple revisions at a later point of time. But that day when you're discussing, that becomes complete in that day itself. So this is exactly how the schedule works. We'll take care of the planning part, what exactly the daily targets here. We'll take care of the implementation part. We'll take care of the improvement part for the next 100 days. For the next 100 days. Now, all the full-time students, if this is something which you're looking for, if this is something which you're looking for, please type ready for 100 days. If this is something which you're looking for 100 days, it's a challenge. It's not a privilege, it's a challenge. You have to do it for 100 days. We'll help you, we'll support you. But you need to understand, you have to be mentally ready. You should be loaded, you should be excited. It's like a military training, right? If you're ready for 100 days, please type 100 days. All the full-time students, please type 100 days. Now in this single or both group decisions, all the decisions will be able to help you. We'll be able to help you with all the decisions. Do not worry about it. But this is something which will happen once you get started with it. Okay, this is an example. Next, limited time students. So everything starts, but 10 to 7 you can work. The remaining time, this is how you are going to use. The best advantage you have. The best advantage you have here is you do not have to worry about the summary notes and all. Whatever the full-time students are preparing, you'll also get access. So by studying for 3 hours, you can extract the outcome of 4 to 5 hours easily. So all the working professionals are students with limited time, including homemakers and young mothers and article students and everyone. So you can target one group. Like if you have already crossed 320, 330, both groups are possible. If you're still at 140, 150 in each group or something where you cannot study for more than 4 to 5 hours a day, I would recommend you to go with one group first. So this is exactly what is going to happen. So limited time students, so the schedule is slightly different. So the targets are slightly different. The expectations are slightly different. And the best part is you study along with full-time students where you can take or make the most out of their notes sharing. So this is exactly how it is going to work. So magic of mornings, quick explanation about magic of mornings. Your day will start with previous day revision, and you'll get boxed within technique, guided meditation, stress relief exercise, current day skimming. All of this will happen in the schedule. So this will help you to significantly enhance your mindset. I told you, right? Struggling mindset to superficial mindset, significant enhancement, significant change in mindset will happen with this. And this is exactly how the mom sessions work, where we kind of sit live and experience this. So this is how you'll be experiencing your magic of mornings every single day. Then we have a mom study group. Once you join the mom session live, then it is followed by the mom study group where all of you will be studying together. And these are all products of mom study group. All of them join and all of them are chartered accountants now. All of them are chartered accountants. Some of them testimonies you already read, you have watched. So these are the set of people, right? So this is exactly what you are going to do. So if you follow that schedule to study using the mom study group, this is the outcome. Tomorrow, you can see your names like this. Tomorrow, follow the same steps. You can see your names like this, like Shia Vishal, Shia Varsha, Shia Suvarna, Shia Suraj, Shia Sneha, Shia Subham, Shia Selvara, Shia Sairam, Shia Rosie, Shia Ramya, Shia Priyanshi, Shia Puneet, Shia Pratik, Shia Prasant. I might miss one or two. Pardon me for that. So this is exactly what you can see yourself. Shia Mohammed, Shia Nayantara, and Shia Nehal. Right? So if you Divyashree, Fatima. So when you want this to happen, see Asif for that matter. When you want this to happen, you have to make this, right? So this is an outcome. This is an outcome. This is an outcome. This is the end result. Just because you want it, that is not going to happen naturally. It is not going to happen because of an examination. It is going to happen because of the preparation. That is what we have discussed. So if you have to get to there, you have to go through this. So this is the decision which you have to take. Making it simple. Once you take this decision in the next 15 minutes, once you take this decision, You'll become a part of this. We'll take care of this, whether you're a full-time student or limited time student. We'll give different schedules for different students, and all your targets are customized. The targets are customized. And we discussed about magic of mornings. You'll get access to this. And we discussed about studying together. Now imagine you wake up, you're not mindlessly fighting your own mind. You open your live study app, you open your studies, you're seeing people across India. Everyone is studying, everybody is working on a particular target. And you have study buddies also. We even attach study buddies. Like study buddies, each of them have a particular study buddy. So Vishnu and Prem, Vishnu and Satish are study buddies here. So Satish here, Vishnu, so they are partners. So similarly, we have a lot of study. Nigita and Vatsal, yeah, Nigita and Vatsal are one study buddy. So depending on their target, depending on their mentality, we have attached multiple study buddies. So in the same group, we have even Noor and Manogna study buddies. Everybody has study buddy, depending on how you test. So you have one study buddy attached to you personally, and apart from that, you'll also have the whole group. You also have the whole group working for you. So this is exactly how things are going to work out, right? So this is the study group, and this is the outcome. If this is the outcome which you're anticipating, if this is the outcome which you are anticipating, and I'm telling you, I'm talking to you about this not in the first minute. I'm talking to you after 100 minutes. Why I'm talking to you after 100 minutes? Because there are very few people. I'm telling you, there are very few people who are really interested to clear, who are really passionate to clear, who are really committed to do something. They have unrealistic expectation. Some random person on YouTube, how can they spend and invest time into you? It's not going to happen. Like requesting for responses on YouTube channel is pathetic, guys. Please understand. Like, could you go to a proper doctor, get a consultation, and solve your problem, or keep sending messages on Google? Like, you need to understand it, right? So, if you're serious, if you know what it takes to solve the problem, we're talking about a very deep and complex problem which you are not able to solve. It is not going to be solved. If it is not solved in 1 attempt, 2 attempts, 3 attempts, 4 attempts, some useless motivation is not going to solve. You need proper, clear-cut mentorship. We talked about training, right? What you need is training. Now, I cannot train you in 100 minutes. I need 100 days. For me to explain the concept itself took me 100 minutes. Now, how can we work up on auditing, SFM, FR, or for that matter, law, or even SCMP, or the problems you're facing in DT, IDT, or getting 17 electives? So all of this have different aspects, right? You have to work on a mindset. So at this junction, if you're committing me to follow the techniques which we say, use the trackers which we build, follow the customized plans, interact with study buddies, join live study hours, and do everything which we tell you. If you are ready to do this, if you are willing to put your next 100 days with us, please let me know one more time so that I'll invite you with the path. I'll show you a clear-cut path. I'll show you the terms involved. So if you are ready completely, please type ready for 100 days. One last time, ready for 100 days so that we can take it forward. All those who are serious, thank you. All those who are serious, yes, perfect, guys, perfect. Perfect, guess. I like the enthusiasm. I respect the enthusiasm. Now, before I show you the actual details of the program, I want you to join with the right expectations. I'll give you a quick backdrop of how we have built this. So I'll give you a quick backdrop of how we have built this, and then we'll proceed ahead with the rest of the aspects. And also at the end, I'll be able to resolve all your questions. Okay. So now this is to tell you the back end of the mentorship part. How did we build it and how did we do things? This is the back end of the mentorship. I'm not offering you pro. Right now, we're discussing about Super 6. Okay. So what is this program all about? We focused on result orientation, personalization, and its premium. We call it gold standard mentorship. Why are we calling it gold standard? Because of these aspects: result oriented, personalization, and premium. Now, what exactly or why exactly personalization is important? When you're watching a video on YouTube, the video made for 1 lakh people. The video is made for 1 lakh people. It's not made for you. It is made for 1 lakh people. When you're trying to get the solution which is made for 1 lakh, it's not fitted. The difference between tailor fit or customized fit versus a regular ready-made, it's not completely made and fitted for you. So that is the reason why you need to understand those solutions may not work. Coaching, when they're recording a coaching class, they're building it for the most average student. You might be Uber, you might be niche, but you'll have to follow the same trend. So which is built for 10,000 people. Like popular faculty will sell its coaching classes for at least 10,000 people in it. Live classes, it is built for 300 people. In Pro, in our professional mentorship, one-to-one, we have a one-to-one option. It's for only one-to-one. Imagine, would you like to use a solution built for you alone or for 1 lakh other people? So that's exactly makes all the difference why we call it gold standard. And the objective is very simple. Here, see in 1 year, 1 attempt, and 1 lakh per month is the starting salary within a year, and 10 crore is the total net worth which you have to build. And the reason why we are calling it gold standard is because of the four conditions. One is high validation, simple and effective execution, proven results, and a stable recognition. What is high validation? To clear this exam, it gives you a sense of satisfaction, a sense of proudness, which cannot be done. Even if you make that 10 crore, even without clearing CA, you still won't be satisfied because we see people who have achieved everything once again coming back and trying to do CA, and it becomes a very proud moment for your parents. All-round development in your personality. A lot of people said it has not only helped me clear the exam, my personality has changed. Now some of you are experiencing this, right? That insights, it will make you think in a better way. It will make you enhance your clarity. So in this process, as I said, if you are the same person, you cannot become a CA. You'll have to change. We'll change that personality in you so that you'll become a chartered accountant before you actually get your chartered accountant certificate. Elevation professional social status and 2x to 3x growth in annual income immediately. So these are the 3 things, 4 things which will happen as a part of the value addition. Now, simple and effective execution, we are extremely good for, in terms of execution. So the preparation strategy is customized according to the current situation. We said, if you're a full-time student, if you're a working professional, if you're a young mother, so we're taking into consideration the current life situation, not just blindly giving something without knowing who you are. Precise and personalized daily targets, weekly reviews, and monthly milestones, easy to implement plans with execution support. So this is exactly why it is simple and efficient. Proven results. Struggling students with repeated failures and multiple attempts were able to clear. Like a lot of students were able to clear in just 1 attempt. During mentorship, we're able to solve their psychological and personal problems as well, not just the regular preparation problems, psychological and personal. Some of you might be having overthinking, procrastination, fear of failure, all of this. We're able to resolve all of this. And different categories, like no matter, even people with depression have come, solved depression and become a chartered accountant. So that is the level of depth we're able to solve the problems. Trust and recognition. Our frameworks, blueprints, and study techniques are recognized with the Government of India. We also got copyright for what it is. And most importantly, our process are ISO 9001 certified. We are recommended, we get recommendations or we get students from trusted judges, senior Big Four chartered accountants, and most other. We have a lot of people who are already chartered accountants who are sharing their, who are giving the responsibility of their kids to us. And 360-degree transformation is what you can expect from this. Peaceful mind, productive routine, clarity of thought, confident attitude, right decisions, fast execution, strict implementation, sharp memory, and better presentation. These are the things which you can expect and experience from this. And core benefits include all of this. Like we discussed various aspects of this. I showed you the example. So live sessions, daily targets, recording modules, all of this are applicable for the Pro program. But Super 36, it all happens on a community basis. So most of them are Super 36 will also get similar benefits. It's just that it happens in a one-to-one versus group format. And next, for eligible for Pro. So unless somebody is a qualified chartered accountant in the family, whether it's a spouse, sibling, or parent, or one should be working professional or work experience, or they should get a reference from our existing student. Because Pro is a premium program. We want only people who respect our time, who want cheap solutions, are not going, because we don't have cheap solutions. We only have best solutions. Cheap and best are 2 different things. So that is the reason why we want people who understand that clearing this exam is a life-changing solution. For you to change your life, that is not going to happen in 1,000 or 2,000 rupees. That is not going to happen by watching 1 hour video or half an hour video on YouTube. You need to go through a systematic process. It's a deep surgical process. That is a kind of transformation which you have to undergo. Very few people understand this. That is the reason why we kind of restrict the Pro program, where I have to spend my time personally. And how exactly we decide. Number 1, clearing CA. Clearing CA should be the most important thing in your life. Time should be far more valuable than money in your life. You should have the opportunity cost of not clearing. You should constantly understand that by not clearing, you're losing so much. And should aware that cheap and best are 2 different things. If you want to find something cheap and best, you'll end up finding the cheapest thing. The reason why most of the decisions are wrong is because you're trying to find the cheap and best thing. So best is different. So you'll end up finding the cheapest thing, which is not going to help. Your ability to trust and take action. Like trusting is to trust is difficult. To trust is difficult. It's not the other person's problem. It's your problem. You're not able to trust someone. It is your problem, not the other person's problem, because the other person is giving you solution. It is because of your own inferiority complex. It is because of your own inability to understand someone. It is inability. Not able to trust is an inability. That is the reason why I'm talking about ability. Trusting someone is ability. A lot of people cannot trust. That is the reason why you don't find solution, because you don't trust anyone, you don't implement anything properly. So that's what happens. And then action taking, not just stuck in the decision making zone, not just thinking about something. Even when the solution comes to your doorstep, if you're not taking action, it won't lead to anything. So these are the things which we'll take into consideration. And before you apply, this is one thing which you have to understand. You have this my phone, you have this iPhone. So when ICI is expecting you to perform like an iPhone, you have to build a preparation process with this quality. This quality is good, but this is not enough. Probably for BCom, this is fine. ICI wants this. So this is the kind of quality which you have to build. So you look at it. When was the last time you built something of this quality? When was the preparation happened with this quality? This is fine. This is also good. MI is also good. I'm not saying it is bad. But if you have to become a chartered accountant, want to get that label, this is what you have to understand. So the process should also have this kind of inputs. And as I said, we have a copyright from the government of India. Nobody can copy anything from us. We will take legal action. So that is the reason why we have this from the government of India. So it is a blueprint to clear India's toughest exams in a single attempt. Exams include, but not limited to CA, CMA, CS, and all of this. So we'll help you to clear this in a single attempt. And these are the techniques which we got a copyright again from the government of India. And my experience comes from spending a lot of time with the convocation. Our current president of ICA or past president of ICA, I get insights from them directly. I talk to students. These are the expected guy. He's the expected guy. So all of these insights are built and invested into transforming my vision of converting 10,000 plus semi-qualified CS into newly qualified CS. So this is why both of us are talking to each other on this Sunday. I hope you're also there. So all of this has given us fantastic insights in terms of building the necessary steps which are required for you to go ahead and clear this exam in a single attempt. So before I invite you to join Super 36, I'm handling certain things which you might have in your mind. If you have not done your coaching, that's totally fine. Even if you're not done your coaching completely, totally fine. More than 70% of students who come to us would have done coaching partially. It's done, but not yet done. They have done it, but still could not clear. So you don't have to worry about it too much. Please understand, to score a century, bat is only one of the things. Batting technique is more important than the bat. I'm talking about batting technique. I'm talking about coaching for you to become a batsman. This bat or that bat would not matter. We'll figure out. We also have bats. So the whole point is you need to understand. Don't worry about coaching too much. Please focus on the preparation part, in which coaching is only 10 to 20%. Even if it's partially done, that's okay. We'll figure out a way to ensure you go through the path by using what you have already learned and by placing what you have to learn next. So coaching completion is not a criteria. I'm not sure about my consistency. We understand that. That is the reason why you're not sure about your consistency. That is the reason why you are relying on us. If you're consistent yourself, you don't need us, right? You don't need us if you're consistent. You don't have to worry about your consistency. We'll take care of it. That is the reason why I say I'm your number one believer, because I believe in you. We'll build it. How can I manage my work along with studies? We already showed you. You don't manage. When you work, you work. When you study, you study. Two different things. That's it. If you try to manage, that is a problem. Nothing can be managed. You can do only one thing at a time. So we make you do one thing at a time in a limited time. This is studies, this is work. That is exactly how we build your mindset, and that is exactly how we implement a schedule for you. Will the strategy and schedule really be customized? Absolutely yes, because as I said, shoe size has to be fit for you individually. So the customization process happens in a very interesting way. So we'll get the blood report of your preparation in a way. We call it color coding sheet. So based on that, the strategy will be completely customized. What if this doesn't work for me? Now, this is something which you have to look at. What if it works for you? Now, this is a common question, because you cannot trust. You don't trust others. You cannot rely on someone. That is what failure does. The problem with failure is it breaks your trust system. You cannot trust anyone. You think I joined this coaching, I joined this mentorship, that did not work, then nothing will work for me. So when you think that nothing works for you, nothing will actually will never work for you. But what if it works? What if this one decision in 3 months can make you a chartered accountant? What exactly is the possibility of that? Is something which you have to explore. So we have clearly explained the steps. We have clearly showed you the case studies, testimonials, process. So you think about what is a bigger risk. You're not thinking it does not work, and then you're missing out the opportunity of clearing just because you have a random thought. I can also make plans but cannot execute. Plans are useless without execution. We discussed it. That is a problem. No, it's not an advantage you're talking about. It is a disadvantage where you can make plans but cannot execute. That is the reason why you have to stop making plans and start doing execution. There are cheaper alternatives in the market. That is what I already said. And let's say somebody tomorrow after you qualify a CA, you build some knowledge. You're extremely good in tax planning. You're extremely good in tax planning. You have spent 3 to 4 hours, 4 years in tax planning. Now somebody comes to you even with 30 crore, 40 crore revenue, 30 lakh, 40 lakh revenue. You're helping them plan their tax officially by using a lot of initiatives, by doing the right investments, by adjusting everything according to the law, not tax evasion. And somebody you charge a particular fee, and they say that somebody in the market does it for 300 rupees. Now, what would you say? Go and get it done from them. If you really want to save tax, this is the place. If you want to pay 300 and then get a scrutiny, which is happening right now, go and get it done anywhere. Now, similarly, if you really want to improve your preparation and crack the exam, this is the place. Now, the concept is not about cheap, right? Like, let's say you want to save money, don't do anything. Why even to invest in a cheaper alternative? The alternative is not investing at all. Don't do anything. You'll save money further. So we are only good at one thing. We will help you to clear the exam, no matter what your problem is. So if you want us in that perspective, we are there. We are not trying to compete with these cheap things. And I recommend you as a chartered accountant, don't try and compete. Somebody charging 400 rupees for tax, I'll charge tax return, I'll charge 300. You'll never win that game. It is useless. You're degrading your value. That is something which we are also not doing. So that is the reason why we're advising you against it. I'll join some other mentorship, as I said. I've explained the process, explained the training. So unfortunately, most of the time we're getting motivation stuff mentorship because people don't know what mentorship is. They have to experience it. I have been through a lot of mentorship programs myself in the last 10 years. So I experienced it from both ends. So I've mentored a lot of students. I myself underwent mentorship. I know what it is. People who just qualify, who don't have any experience, who did not do anything apart from sitting in a YouTube channel, they hardly have the complete understanding and the depth. They lack the understanding and depth. They can say something. See, motivation is easy, mentorship is hard. Motivation is easy, mentorship is hard. So that is the reason why it may not work. With due respect, it worked for someone, but it did not work. This is the only mentorship program in India, which we can probably say. I'm announcing it directly. This is the only mentorship program in India which has the true essence of mentorship. Where, see, how many of the mentorship programs have live sessions? How many of them have discussions like this? Before joining, how many of them give you clarity like this? Most likely they would have joined blindly. Some result you would have joined. But how many of them have interlinkage between different students? You don't even know how many students they have. You don't even know how many, what exactly is happening. Nothing, you know, right? So this is something why we call it the only mentorship. I'm from old syllabus, absolutely. There is no old and new. There's only one syllabus which is left out. So that is why you have to clear in November, obviously. Can I have some time to think and decide about it? So this is the problem, right? Overthinking. So you understood the product, you understood the process, you understood what you're getting, you want to know the kind of results. So we are giving you time right away. You can think and decide about it. I like the program, but I feel it is expensive. So it is natural for you to feel so. I'm telling you, if you are looking at it as investment, it always looks expensive. If you know it, it is an asset. There is no expense. That asset is not an expense. If you look at it like a lifetime MBA, like people pay 40 lakhs for an ISB MBA because they start making that 40 lakhs in 2-3 years. Now, this investment which you are going to make, with the kind of quality, with the kind of value, you'll be surprised to see. So some people, you don't have an understanding of time. The reason why you might feel expensive for some of you is you don't know the value of your time. Value of your 6 months is 4.5 lakhs. It's real value. It's not, don't think it is not applicable to you. If you're clear, you'll get that 4.5 lakhs per attempt. So isn't that expensive? Is 5 lakhs not expensive? Think from that perspective. See, my mentor said, don't be cheap in your journey to greatness. You have to start making 1 lakh per month. It's not about being cheap in this journey. It is all about how fast you can get there. How can you make more money? It's all about money multiplication, not saving these integrated things. For the set of people, look at it like an investment. Look at it like a life MBA, which will help you to transform your personality. Most importantly, solve your problem of not being able to clear. And please do understand, this is a very deep and complex problem. It's not an easy problem to solve. It is deep and complex. It is deep and complex. If it is easy, it would have been solved. It would have already solved. It is deep and complex, which requires a complicated surgery. So that is what we are going to do for you. Okay. So this is what you have to know. Thanks for paying attention to this. I definitely believe, because I want to take an informed decision. I don't want you to randomly transfer money. We don't want donations. We want people who are committed to the core. You cannot pay him high school single rupee without our permission. You cannot buy anything without our permission. We are very clear about the kind of people. We are very committed to the results. That is the reason why you're experiencing what you're experiencing today. So with this backdrop, let me introduce this 236, which will help you to clear this CA final in November 23 in just one attempt. So hope you're all ready for this. Hope you're all excited for this. And as I promised, this is available. Only for the people. Only for the people who are sitting in the Zoom room. Like there are other ways of watching it. Only for the people who are sitting in the Zoom room